Okay, people. So back, taking a look at films. You know what I mean? That had gone by, right? Just from the other year. Trying to catch up on shit, right? And so this time out, we do Nobody, right? And god damn, yo, you know what I mean? Like the crazy thing is, I'd heard some good things, but not a whole heap of chatter about this one, which is kind of crazy, right? Mortal Kombat, you heard a lot, heard some stuff about Monster Hunter, Ghostbusters, right? Not a whole heap on Nobody, and that people that baffles the fuck out of me. Ain't gonna lie, right? I'm scratching my head trying to wonder how is it nobody is talking about Nobody. You feel me? Okay, so it's the second feature from Ilya Naishuller, right? It is written by Derek Kolstad. Come on now, everyone must recognize that name by now, right? Oh, Derek, he's been churning out some great shit, right? And hey, some stuff to come from all accounts. You know what I mean? So yeah, with that caliber, you're like, okay, it is produced, right, by Coles. Well, no, it's produced by Braddon Aftergood, right? David Leitch, Kelly McCormick, Bob Odenkirk, right? Mark Previsiero. It is executive produced by Mark S. Fisher, Derek Kolstad, Toby Maguire. Interesting. Annie Marta, uh, co-produced by Ellen Rutter, and associate produced by Scott Watson. Music is handled by David Buckley. Cinematography is Pavel Pogravelski. It is edited by Evan Schiff and William Ye. Casting was Lindsey Graham and Mark Vernew. Production design was Roger Fires. Art direction is Callie Wenzel. Set decoration is Sarah McCudden. Costume design, Patricia J. Henderson. Makeup, hair, all that jazz. We got Lanny C. Brown, Sarah Hoggins, Nina Kavernick, Brenda Magalas, Travis Marzalek, Stacy Mendoza, Shaylin Koluki, Ashley Hyra, Kendall Lewis, Cheryl Mendel, and Doug Morrow. Okay, so our cast. Well, people, we have got the Mansells, right? So this is Hutch Mansell is played by Bob Odenkirk. His wife, Rebecca, she is played by Connie Nielsen. His dad, David, is played by Christopher Lloyd. We've also got a voice, right, that we hear, which is Riza. He's got two kids, Blake, played by Gage Monroe, and Abby, played by Paisley Cadorath. Okay, so we then have got, well, I mean, it all kind of started, I guess, because of, Lupita and Louise Martin, played by Humbly Gonzalez and Edson Morales. Okay, which then brings in Julian Kuznetsov, played by Alexei Serabalakov. Wait, I know I probably butchered. Woo! I probably butchered those names. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's got a son, right? Teddy, played by Alexander Pal. Right, we've got Pent Anatoly, played by Ilya Naishuller. We've got Valentina, played by Sergei Shirov. There's Daniel Rizutu, Ruslan Rusin, Vladimir Levkovsky, Danshkin, BJ Verdict, Dylan Rampula, Margarita Sodatova. Yeah, they're all hit people. We have got Megan Best. She's a woman in distress on the bus. Right, the bus driver is played by Joanna Rodriguez. We have got Joey, played by Adrian McLean. He is the warden at David's retirement home. And there's Pentagon Darren, played by JP Manox. And Pavel, played by Arya Mengesha. Charlie Williams, played by Billy McCallum. The Barber, played by Colin Salmon. Eddie Williams, played by Michael Ironside. So that is Eddie and Charlie, Rebecca's relatives. Okay. So yeah, that's the main. I'd say probably. Oh, we got Kirsten Harris and Eric Havala. They're detectives who we meet at the beginning and the end, right? Yeah, I'd say that's probably our key lot of people. There's a lot of people up in the piece, man. There's a lot of people up in the piece. But yeah, I would say they're our main group. And the gist of the flick, right? So, Hutch Mansell, an underestimated and overlooked dad and husband, taking life's indignities on the chin and never pushing back. A nobody. When two thieves break into his suburban home one night, Hutch declines to defend himself or his family, hoping to prevent serious violence. His teenage son, Blake, is disappointed in him, and his wife, Becca, seems to pull only further away. The aftermath of the incident strikes a match to Hutch's long simmering rage, triggering dormant instincts and propelling him on a brutal path that will surface dark secrets and lethal skills. In a barrage of fists, gunfire, and squealing tires, Hutch must save his family from dangerous adversaries and ensure that he will never be underestimated as a nobody again. So, yeah, this took me completely by what's the expression? Took me by that thing, right? What the fuck? Completely by surprise. Fuck. Jesus Christ. Completely by surprise. How simple is that? Why can't I not remember that? God damn. Anyway, yeah. Listen, I feel that the poster shouldn't be the poster of this film because, like, oh man, you know what I mean? I think you'd be really shocked watching this film if we had a different total poster. You know what I mean? So you know there's gonna be violence, but yeah, I just didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen, right? As I said, look, we meet Hutch. We just see this montage, right, of him making breakfast, getting coffee ready, right, going to bed. There's a divider. His wife has put big cushions in between them, so there's no physical contact, right? Missing the garbage man, being reminded you missed the garbage man, right? Just these things over and over again. Son doesn't seem to really give a fuck, but we do see the daughter, the daughter's still rooting for daddy, which is cute, right? But it just, he's getting treated like shit at work. It's just this perpetual fucking grind that Hutch is on. This wheel that's never changing. You know what I mean? The same over and over and over again. And you're just like, oh, god damn. So, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, right? Just from this beginning, I'm assuming, right? There might be something that he either wins back the affection of his wife, or enough is enough, dumps her, and then goes on to something else, right? That's what you're kind of assuming, because you're just like, surely, it's Bob Odenkirk, right? Bob Odenkirk, great actor, but I don't know, man. I can't think of any action films I've seen him in. Now, not saying he hasn't done them, probably has. I may just be forgetting, because I think Bob is one of them actors, right, who is all over the place, but you may forget. You know what I mean? It's one of them situations where sometimes you forget, like, oh, damn, homie was in that? How did I forget he was in that one? You know what I mean? That happens, right? So, yeah, it's you just kind of, you don't expect to see what happens, So the house gets burgled. And I don't know, right? You could, I guess an adult, as an adult, right? You're watching and you can kind of see from Hutch's point of view, right? If he tries to escalate, a stray bullet could go off. Could hit anyone. His son, his wife, his daughter. Right? We know that shit happens. You know what I mean? People murdered by stray, like anything can happen. So you can see that he's trying to keep a semblance of calm, right? Making sure shit don't escalate. But the son feels away, right? You can see the wife. The wife is like, I think she gets it. She's you kind of get the sense that she feels that, you could have done, which we kind of then understand after more shit we learn about old Hutchy boy, right? But this all happens. But he's just trying to keep the fam safe, man. But looks like his daughter's, favorite chain has gone missing, which seems to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? So he's now out looking for this shit. And in the journey looking for this shit, we realize, oh, I should also say, throughout the film, we have Hutch talking to a, it's hard to explain, man. We feel like he's talking to a existential voice, right? He puts on records, and then there's this voice talking to him, which you feel, right? He's a little cray, And you'd understand when you see the shit that old Hutchie boy has gone through. So in one of these conversations, you understand that Hutch, hey, he saw more in that situation than you perceived, right? So you know there's more to Hutch than meets the eye. And what then unfolds is a peeling back of the layers of old Hutch, man. And we get a crazy ass story. A crazy ass, but I will say, and this might sound weird, right? There's a story is out there. It's over the top, it's insane. But the way it's played by Christopher Lloyd, by Bob Odenkirk, Connie Nielsen, and everyone else, you're like, this is kind of believable, right? This is kind of believable. You know what I mean? Because it's just, I mean, the fight scenes, they're rough and ready. You know, what I mean? We don't get, and you know, I've mentioned it in some of these things, right? Um, but a lot of fight scenes nowadays, everyone knows martial arts. You know what I mean? Everyone knows martial arts, and they're pulling off shit that you're just like, that no one's going to do that in a fight. That ain't feasible, man. That's going to put you at too much risk trying to jump on someone's neck, right? What I have to do is fall back, run forward. There's so many things which will fuck you up. But it never happens in these fight scenes. But yeah, it's crazy. Not in this, right? This, the fight, and you're going to roll your. When I say, look, the fight scenes, they're crazy. I know. But it feels more realistic. It's like this shit could happen. You know what I mean? That's what you get, right? So you get all of this, and like throughout, Bob, old Hutch, right? As I said, look, these layers get peeled back, and we're seeing, you know what I mean, how he's trying to restrain himself, which is crazy and fun, you know? Listen, if you enjoyed the John Wick films, you will really like Nobody is your type of film for sure, right? It is so much fun. It is so much freaking fun, people. You know what I mean? It's just so insane with just everything that goes down. You know what I mean? There's no there is no kind of pause, right? It's once that chord is ripped, it's go time, right? It is freaking go time. And hey, if you're a bad guy, you're gonna wish you never ripped that chord, because boy, all levels of craziness and violence. All levels of craziness and violence. And I am here for it, people. Because these characters, as I said, look, I don't recall them in action films, you know? Don't recall them in action films. But, well, I mean, look, we know Connie Nielsen, you know what I mean? She's in Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman. Ooh, mine went a little blanky blank there for a second, people. But yeah, you know what I mean? She does a thing in there. But it's like, yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? A lot of these other people's, you know what I mean? It's like, you kind of like, I don't recall them doing this shit, but they play it so well. So, like Christopher Lloyd, you know what I mean? Christopher Lloyd is kicking ass. It's insane. It's great. It really is pretty phenomenal, right? Just this level of violence and craziness, you know? I am just like, boy, this is so enjoyable. You know what I mean? They didn't drop the ball. right? Because there's definitely moments where you think, oh, maybe they're going to pull back here. They do not pull back, right? They do not pull back. And that is incredible, right? It's perfect. So fucking perfect, you know? It is just, it's what you want, right? It is what you want. I guess Bob, he voiced a bad guy in The Incredibles, right? But yeah, you know, he's done comedic shit, right? A lot of comedic shit. So to see him break out in this, damn, it's fire. It is straight up fire, people. You know, if you like action flicks, this has got everything, right? Because you feel that family connection, that family love, all of that. And you can understand someone at the brink who's just like, yo, you know what? Enough is enough. So, people, if you haven't seen it and you want some kick ass fun, you want to check out Nobody, right? It's on Amazon. I watched it on Now. It's on Apple. You know what I mean? Anywhere, all those VODs that you love, you can find it. And people, you want to find it and you want to check it out because you will not, trust me, you will not be disappointed. You know what I mean? Really, people. And I'd like to see more. I would love to see more. The little John Wick, right? Make it into a little franchise. Why not? Because you know, there's stories to tell. There's definitely so you can do prequels, you can do anything. So yeah, people, Nobody.